What started as a way to move pixels is now the engine powering everything from your favorite games to artificial intelligence. Integrated graphics, or iGPUs. These GPUs aren't physical cards you can touch. They live inside the same silicon as the CPU, in a design known as an SoC or APU. Unlike a dedicated card, an iGPU doesn't have its own memory. It has to ask permission from the CPU to use a portion of the system's RAM. This creates higher latency. While the CPU is trying to process Windows data, the GPU is trying to render video, and both end up competing for the same data hallway. They used to be just for running Excel sheets, but today, thanks to architectures like AMD's Radeon Graphics or Intel's Iris Xe, they allow you to play competitive titles like League of Legends or CSGO at medium settings. Their biggest advantage is power consumption, drawing only between 15 and 45 watts, which allows laptops to be ultra-thin. Consumer-dedicated GPUs is where we find the cards that take up 2 or 3 slots in your PC. This ecosystem is currently dominated by NVIDIA's Ada Lovelace and AMD's RDNA 3 architectures. They have their own voltage regulator modules, or VRMs, their own fans, and their own dedicated memory. This allows them to draw anywhere from 100 to 450 watts in flagship models like the RTX 4090. In gaming, their primary job is to convert mathematical vectors into flat pixels as fast as possible. It's a race of brute force, where the clock speed, or boost clock, determines how many frames per second you'll see on screen. They are divided into tiers: entry-level, mid-range, high-end, and enthusiast, where the main difference isn't just power, but the memory bus, which determines how wide the path is for graphics data to travel. Mobile GPUs. It's a common misconception that a laptop RTX 4080 is the same as the desktop version. In reality, they're thermally adjusted versions. TGP, Total Graphics Power. In a laptop, the manufacturer decides how much power to feed the GPU. The exact same GPU can perform 30% better in a thick laptop than in a thin one, simply because the former can dissipate heat more effectively. To compensate for the lack of physical power, they use dynamic boost, which shifts power away from the CPU when it's not being used and gives it to the GPU, balancing the heat generated within the chassis. Professional GPUs. Cards like the NVIDIA RTX 6000 series or AMD Radeon Pro. Although the physical chip might be similar to a gaming card, the software and build quality are different. NVIDIA and AMD use certified drivers because they work directly with companies like Adobe, Autodesk, or Dassault Systems to create drivers that prioritize stability over FPS. A single bit error in a medical part render could be catastrophic. These GPUs use ECC memory, which detects and corrects data errors caused by interference or heat. These are machines designed to run at 100% load for weeks of rendering without a single reboot. GPUs for AI and compute? This is where the GPU loses its conventional fans and HDMI video outputs. Think of models like the NVIDIA H100 or the AMD Instinct MI300. They feature high-performance computing used for climate simulation, drug discovery, or training massive large language models. These GPUs use massive interconnects like NVLink to hook into one another, allowing thousands of cards to act as a single giant GPU with terabytes of combined memory. This is where the true market value of companies like NVIDIA lies today. Architecture. To understand why one GPU is better than another, we need to dive into how it handles the workload. CPU, serial execution, think of it like a math genius. It can solve a quantum physics equation incredibly fast, but it can only do one at a time. GPU, parallel execution, think of it as 10,000 basic calculators. They can't solve the quantum equation, but if you give them 10,000 simple additions, like paint this pixel red, they finish them all in the same microsecond. That's why a GPU has thousands of cores, CUDA cores or stream processors, compared to the 8 or 16 found in a CPU. VRAM, video RAM, uses standards like GDDR6 or GDDR6X. Regarding bandwidth, it's not just about how many GBs you have, 8, 12, 24 GB, but how fast you can access them. A 384-bit bus is like a 20-lane highway. A 128-bit bus is like a narrow neighborhood street. In AI, VRAM is critical because it determines the size of the model you can load. If the AI model doesn't fit in the VRAM, the speed tanks because it's forced to use system RAM. Rasterization versus ray tracing. Rasterization is tricking the eye. The GPU projects 2D shapes onto the screen and uses pre-calculated shadow maps. It's efficient, but the lighting isn't dynamic. Ray tracing is physical simulation. The GPU traces the path of individual photons from the light source, calculating bounces off mirrors, water, and metallic surfaces. To achieve this without making your PC explode, they use RT cores, dedicated hardware circuits designed exclusively to calculate light-ray intersections. Specialized cores. Tensor cores. These handle the AI magic. They enable DLSS, NVIDIA, or FSR, AMD, where the card renders the game at a lower resolution to gain speed, and then the AI fills in the missing details to make it look like 4K. NVENC or AV1 encoders. These are small sections of the chip dedicated solely to compressing and decompressing video. Thanks to them, you can stream on Twitch without your game losing performance. Performance and heat context. The GPU's greatest enemy is electrical resistance. When a GPU hits 85 degrees Celsius or 90 degrees Celsius, it reduces its own speed to avoid damage. This is called thermal throttling. That's why we see such massive heat sinks with triple fans and vapor chambers. Overclocking is the art of increasing voltage and frequency. However, on modern GPUs, the gains are minimal compared to the increase in heat, mainly because manufacturers already ship them out of the box, pushed almost to their physical limits. The GPU has evolved from being just the gaming card to the most important component of the current technological revolution. Without it, we wouldn't have movie CGI, AI models, or the hyper-realistic open worlds we explore from our desks. If you now have a better understanding of what makes your screen come to life, subscribe to 8-Minute Tech. Are you Team NVIDIA, Team AMD, or are you waiting to see what Intel pulls off with their new graphics cards? Let us know in the comments.